Hello, it is Sunday, the 24th of September, and I'm feeling a lot better than yesterday. Saying yesterday I was feeling really unwell, but I'm feeling totally better today. I had Steve's dad's 60th last night, and I also spent some of the spare time I had in the afternoon looking up like different fabrics. I was saying in another video that I've been doing Brooke Castillo's course, Self-Coaching Scholars, or online program. I don't even know what to call it. And sorry, there's a bit happening in the house this morning. And doing the money course that she has within that. And that I'm just wanting to be really intentional with, sorry, there's so much yelling, with everything that I have, like all my possessions, all my clothes. I want to go through everything and get rid of everything that, like, if I was to shop my wardrobe that I wouldn't buy today, and then sell that, because Brooke was saying that if you go through the hassle of selling it, you'll begin to relate to things differently. And then when you're buying something the next time, instead of being like, oh yeah, well, if I don't like it, like, it's no big issue, it's like, well, if I don't like it, will I want to go through the hassle of selling it and, like, say paying $100 now and only getting $30 later, and then, like, asking myself questions like, a month from now, would I rather this item or the money? And just, yeah, like, just sort of getting all of that into, like, just so I don't know what to, just, I want to spend my money on things that I really love, and just be really intentional and not be buying things that I don't like or that I never wear. That goes for, like, books and everything like that as well, but makeup. But I feel like clothes is the biggest one. So yeah, last night, and it was actually really enjoyable because I just like learning new things, and this is something that I really am a very beginner in. I was looking up all different information, mainly on YouTube. I'll link the videos I watched below. It was kind of hard to find videos actually about what I wanted to know, but I wanted to find out essentially what fabrics and blends I should get clothes in for them to be high quality. Doesn't mean they're going to be expensive, but it just means that they'll last longer. They won't fall to bits when I wash them. They won't just completely change. And yeah, I was just learning about that, and it was so good just to be having my mind, like, learning, but something completely different to the stuff I normally do. And then what I did, I'm thinking of, like, starting with buying new underwear. Like, I'm gonna go clean everything out, but I don't want to get rid of things that I will need to replace immediately. Like, there's like, I really want to get new undies, and I really want to get new workout leggings, because they're things I use every day that I need new ones of, but I don't want to just get rid of them today, so I'm forced to go out and quickly find a replacement. I kind of want to go through and identify the things that I love and that I'm keeping, and the things that I don't have that I'm always like, oh, I wish I just had, like, a white top or whatever, and the things that I keep buying that I never end up actually wearing, and just sort of getting a clear picture of what I have been doing and what I would like to do. Obviously that's not going to be perfect, but just starting to, be more intentional about it. And then when I want to buy stuff, actually doing the research instead of just, like, going shopping and buying whatever I see. Because when I shop that way, which is normally what I do, I don't do that much shopping, to be clear. But if I do, I kind of just go shopping, and then if I like something, I buy it. But it means I end up with gaps in my wardrobe that mean it's hard to mix everything together, or I'll buy something that won't necessarily go with other things, and I just want to stop that. So yeah, I really want to do that. So go through everything, and I'll film it probably. Go through everything, leave only the things I love, figure out the things I either want to replace with something high quality that I love, or that I don't need to replace at all, or things that I don't have. Like, I don't have any denim shorts at the moment. It's nearly summer. Like, I don't have many summer clothes at the moment because I kind of bought all new things when I quit my job in March, and it was going into it was autumn going into winter, so a lot of my clothes aren't really super summery. And so yeah, I want to buy new undies first, and then new workout tights, because I have like 5 pairs and I only like one of them. The others are all really old, or they're just like, I've realized I don't want to buy anything mid-rise. I only want high-waisted workout tights, because when they're mid-rise, the elasticity in them goes eventually, and then I just spend my whole time at the gym trying to pull up my leggings and trying to make sure they don't fall down when I'm squatting, and it's just really frustrating. And yeah, I don't want to keep doing that. So what I did was, I have 2 pairs that I love. One that I actually left at the gym. My phone just died again and it cut out. I need to make a habit of checking if my storage is full before I film, because I'm getting a bit frustrated that this keeps happening because I keep forgetting to check. Anyway, I had a Lorna Jane pair and a pair from the brand Jagged, J-A-G-G-A-G, that I love. And so I like looked up what blend of fabric they are, and then I went onto the Iconic as well, which is I think they're only available in Australia and New Zealand, but an online store that sells all different brands, and they're really amazing because they have an amazing returns policy and really good shipping and everything like that. So I use them wherever I can. And I went on and I could see like things I've ordered in the past year, and some of them I've tried to buy workout tights but didn't like them. So I wrote in my notes on my MacBook, which is good because I'll have it on my phone then if I'm going shopping. I wrote down the blends of the fabric that are the ones I really like, and then the blends of the fabric that are the ones I didn't like. Like, one of the pairs I bought from 2XU were like see-through when you squatted, which I don't want that. And others, just the material didn't feel nice, so I wrote down those blends. So I'm just trying to like get my head around what materials I should buy, because I have like a top from Zara that I put on, love it. As soon as I do anything, it wrinkles and creases, and only an iron will get it out. So if I'm out and about, I have to be like so careful that like I can't really sit in a car because the seatbelt will crease it. It's just so annoying. And if I had been aware of like thinking ahead about that stuff when I bought it, I wouldn't have, and I could have bought something else I love. But yeah, so the thing that's really driving this is I want to be really good with money. I was talking a bit about this yesterday and a few days ago, so I won't go into like where this has come from again, but I really just want to like be so intentional with spending, to not impulse buy things. Like, I was then going on, that's what I then did last night as well, went onto the Iconic and I looked at all the leggings, but when I was doing it, I was mainly just trying to find like workout tights that had the same blend of material as the ones I really love, and then also making sure none of the tights I was looking at were the ones I like, combinations I don't like. Like, I didn't want anything that just had cotton. Like, a lot of the cheap pairs of workout tights, they're mainly cotton, which is fine if they're for like lounging around home, but for working out, like, I don't want cotton ones. I like them to feel supportive and to, you know, not stay wet or anything like that. So I kind of had to rule out like anything below definitely $60. And then just looking at above that, what ones with the same kind of fabric. I don't know if this is really boring, but I was so fascinated by it last night and just researching. So I went through and saved all the ones that I like the style of. They're all like black, they're all high-waisted, they're all very similar. I think I want to end up with, I would say 5 new pairs, because I usually work out 6 times a week, maybe even 7 total, because I wash my clothes once a week, but I think 5 would be enough to start with. And so I just really want to make sure every single one, instead of me being like, I need 5 today, going out, not being conscious of fabric, not being conscious of the fact that I get really annoyed with anything mid-rise, and replacing them all at once, and then a few months down the line feeling really frustrated. I'm just like wanting to do the research, find ones that I like, and then I just want to end up with stuff I really love, and that like every pair I enjoy wearing, because I'll wear my good pair like the first day after I wash them, and then the rest of the week I'm like, oh, which ones am I gonna wear? And I'd bought most of those like not being conscious of all the different things I just spoke about. Whew, getting hot. So yeah, so that's what I was doing, and that's what I want to spend more time doing. And there's a book called The Curated Closet. I feel like maybe this is going to lead to me getting into like, not necessarily minimalism though, like minimalism in the form of intentional living, which is basically the same thing. There's a few books that are like, there's one I saw, I've mentioned in a few videos, called The Curated Closet, which I really want to have a look at, and I'll probably get, or I might see if that's something the library has. I'm not sure, but I really want to have a look at that. And I guess I'm kind of almost trying to create a capsule wardrobe, not necessarily with any strict guidelines around it or anything like that, just having only things I love and paying attention first. So like, what are the things I wear time and time again? What are the things I bought that I thought I'd wear that I didn't, and like figuring out what works for me, what doesn't, what I like doing, like, and clothes I buy. Like I bought this white t-shirt, you can't really see much of it, from Witchery, and in one of the videos, one of the girls was mentioning that if you have, if you have a poor quality t-shirt, you'll wash it and the seam will twist. And she was like, if you find a brand where the seam stays straight, like stick with that brand if you can, or like be aware that that's a brand that's good to go to for that. So this seam, I noticed this shirt's 100% cotton, which normally it's better to have a blend, just so that it's, what was the reason? I don't know. Normally you have a little bit of synthetic blended with it. Can't remember why. This is 100% cotton, but the seams have stayed perfectly straight. Oh, the reason you have synthetic is so that it just like doesn't wrinkle, I think, as much, or it just, anyway, I don't know. This is cotton though, and I've washed it at least 10 times and the seams are still straight. So I'm just like taking note, and I was sort of writing down, like, I have a few tops that are so crinkly that I can't wear without ironing. I never want to have to iron anything, so I'm trying to figure out what to avoid so that I never have to iron again. And yeah, just the materials that I love, the materials that I don't love, all of that kind of thing. And yeah, if you guys know any really good minimalism or intentional living style wardrobe fashion YouTubers, let me know. I do love blogs as well, obviously, but I also just love being able to have someone playing in the background and then do something at the same time. So like last night I was listening to videos while I was looking through all the workout tights on The Iconic and trying to figure out which ones would be good. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to order quite a lot of those. With The Iconic, you can do free returns, and actually you can do returns and get 110% credit. So think I'm going to order them and like be really mindful of which ones I really love, and not buying ones like that are all right, but like if I was in the shop today, would I buy it? Instead of like, I think it's called the endowment effect or something like that, where if you already have something in your possession or you already own it, you're more biased towards keeping it because you feel like a connection with it, that it's already yours or whatever. So that's what can happen with online shopping. When it's in your house, you feel like it's already yours, and so you're more likely to keep it and not have to go through the hassle of returning it than you are to actually, like, if you were to be in a store, would you buy it? So I always try to think, like, if I was in a store, would I buy it? Not like, oh, should I send it back? That's the wrong question. Should I send it back is not the right question. It is, would I buy this today if I was in a store? A month from now, would I rather have this item or the money? And just things like that. So, it's getting really hot. So that's what I have been thinking about since I last spoke with you guys. Yeah, I'm just so, like, I'm really excited to, like, do the research instead of just, like, wanting something, buying it, and then ending up with a closet that I never feel like I have stuff that I love. Just, like, doing the research, getting familiar with what kinds of things I want, being able to have enough intention and control that when I see something I love, if it's not the right fabric, if it's not high enough quality, that I just don't buy it. Like, I'm excited about that. Is that really nerdy? I think it is a little bit nerdy, but I don't care. I'm a nerd. Oh, so yeah, that's where I'm at today. Going to birthday lunch for my dad in a couple of hours. It's about 10 o'clock now. Steve and I slept in. It was amazing. So good to sleep in. My first sleep in all week since Monday. And I say sleep in, we woke up at like 8:30, which is a sleep in fast. And on Monday I slept in, but I woke up at 7. So this week Steve and I are going to have agreed that we really want to make an effort to get to bed on time, because on Friday night we were both feeling so exhausted, and I don't know, he normally gets at least 2 more hours of sleep than me. Like, I go to the gym and come home and he's still in bed. But anyway, everyone has their own amount of sleep that they need, and I was finding that from going to bed at like 10 o'clock, and then, well, he was actually working a lot of 12-hour shifts. So anyway, I have, just noticed that from going to bed after 10, say like 10:30, and waking up at 5:15, it took its toll by Friday. And I used to function on like very, very little sleep. I used to wake up 4 a.m. to work on my blog before my full-time job, and I would go to bed probably at like 10 p.m. because I didn't want to miss out on hanging out with Steve at night. Oh my god, it's so hot. So I was only getting 6 at best, usually 5 hours continuously. Like, I'd never really sleep in. And that's how I burnt myself out. But I used to function on that because I couldn't even remember what it felt like to be well rested. But now I have tasted what it feels like to be well rested, and that everything's just easier. I'm much more productive. I'm much more focused. I'm a much kinder person too. I really don't want to fall back into that, like, always living on no sleep. So that's what I'm working on this week. I have a couple of hours before I go to lunch. So I am going to take these down and actually do the planning that I've been saying I'm going to do for the last week. Really lay out before me what I'm going to be doing this week. Going through the action list that I created with Kit, my coach, on Thursday, to make sure that everything I've committed to doing will be completed. I might also want to get my podcast up and record another episode, which is going to probably take a couple of hours. I do these videos every day, which is now kind of just part of my daily routine anyway, which is cool. Making time for doing Brooke's online course, for reading, and so I'm going to be planning that. Then going to lunch, and then after I get home, I'm going to be finishing off the blog post that's going out tonight and the email that'll be going out tonight. So yeah, I've written most of it. It's already 3,500 words wrong. It's 20 ways, what is it called? 20 ways to make the most of your 20s, which isn't really about how to make the most of your, like, how to, but what I'm trying to do in 20 different things I'm working on. It's been really interesting to write, and I didn't want it to be short. Like, I wasn't trying to keep it short, but I didn't realize it would end up being so long. But I love reading long things, and I love detail and all of that when I'm reading. So I thought, like, I'm not going to cut it down just so it's short. You guys don't, like, the whole thing about everyone having a short attention span, like, yes, we're easily distracted because we're in the habit of, like, giving into those impulses, and we have all the social media feeds and everything that kind of just create, like, chemically, there's, like, science behind those feeds, and that we're, like, gambling and trying to, like, think, like, oh, maybe the next post will be something I really want to see and all of that. So yeah, anyway, I don't think we all have short attention spans. I love long podcasts, long videos, long blog posts. I'm sure you guys do too, especially if you watch me. That's what I produce. So if you're here, you probably like that. So yeah, it's going to be a really long one. I'm guessing it'll end up being about 5,000 words. So yeah, going to finish that. And yeah, I'm excited to do some planning. Just need to clean my room up. Actually, maybe I will open this now. I have 4 of these boxes from Book Depository. I actually have got 7 total. I ordered 7 books, and Book Depository just send them out when they're ready. So I don't know if it's cheaper for them. It's free shipping. But I hope I don't chip my nails. But yeah, I got 3 the other day. Oh, no, 2 the other day, and I opened them on my Insta stories. If you don't follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is smart20s. These are the other books I bought, and I got these on Friday. It's Sunday, and I wanted to open them straight away, but I wanted to practice being patient. So they've just been sitting on my dresser for the last 2 days, and I haven't opened them. I don't know, I just wanted to, like, practice waiting. So anyway, I'm going to open them now, I think. First one is the Ask Gary Vee book, which I am very excited to read. Yes. So he's an entrepreneur. I've spoken about him quite a bit. And this is his book based on his YouTube show, podcast show, whatever. I'm really excited for this. So it's called Ask Gary Vee, One Entrepreneur's Take on Leadership, Social Media and Self-Awareness, and blah, 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 and a million other things. So I'm excited for that. I'm very, very excited. That's the first book. Second book is, I love getting so many packages though. Oh yeah, this is a negotiating one I was wanting. Never split the difference. Negotiating as if your life depended on it. So this is meant to be by a former FBI hostage negotiator, and he's talking about how to negotiate, and apparently it's a really good book, and I really want to learn how to negotiate. It's something I feel like I don't know how to do well. And so I'm teaching myself. I'm taking responsibility for that. So that's that book. 2 more. Next book is In Real Life, My Journey to a Pixelated World. So he's a YouTuber. I don't actually follow him. I don't actually know. Maybe after reading this I will want to follow him. But I love just reading things by YouTube creators, and this had really good reviews even from people who don't follow him. Like, it wasn't just like his fans, it was like people being like, I don't follow him, but this was really interesting. And yeah, just very interested to read that and read his story and to learn from his experience and all of that. Maybe at the end of it I want to follow him, maybe I won't, but I just love trying to learn from all different people, and there's a lot to learn from people I don't necessarily know much about or that I don't follow, all of that. So that's why I've got his book. And I forgot I got this one. This is my last book. Shoe Dog, which is the book about Nike. And I think memoir by the creator of Nike. So this is just like his story of building that business. And yeah, as I was just saying, I love learning about business and self-development. I think they're very, very interrelated from all different kinds of people. And yeah, I was just really interested to hear about how one of the biggest brands in the world was built. So yeah, that's why I got that. So I have all my books. Yeah, I'm going to start reading them very soon. I've been reading for at least half an hour every day. So I think I'll have to choose which one to start with. The other ones I got that I opened on Insta stories were Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, who's a philosopher, like in AD 100 or something like that. And then I also got 2 fiction books, one by Jodi Picoult and one by Jojo Moyes, which was After You, because I just finished Me Before You or whatever it was. So I started reading that. And these are more like the business entrepreneurial books that I wanted to get. So I think I'll probably start with Gary V's, just because I've been really into all of the stuff he's been sharing lately. And then I'm going to make my way through the others. I'm the kind of person that, I only finish books if I love them. I happily abandon books. And actually I think I've abandoned one that I mentioned the other day. So just for closure, I thought I would mention it. I was talking about this book, Loving My Actual Life. It wasn't bad. And okay, I've only read this much. Not much at all. But I just wasn't into it. I'm not sure if it's because she talks a lot about God, and I'm not very strongly religious. But when I was reading it, I was kind of just replacing that in my head with like the universe, even though I don't like thinking of the universe, but just like, you know, God meaning whatever I believe in. But then I don't know, a couple of things I was like, so I'm going to keep going at some point just to give it more than a chance of like 20 pages. Actually, I only read 10 pages because before that it's all different things. So yeah, but I'm not sure about this book yet, but I'm very excited to read these ones. And yeah, that's where I'll leave it today. Thank you for watching and for being with me on this journey. If you haven't already, I just thought I'd mention checking out my blog, smart-20s.com, my Instagram, smart20s, and they're the best places to connect with me. If you haven't signed up for my weekly emails, get over to my blog and do it, because they're, I think, the thing I'm most proud of creating are my weekly emails. I just love writing them so much. So yeah, there'll be a little bar at the top where you can sign up. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.